Welcome to our Lebanon channel. For today's video, we will talk about the geography, climate, and wildlife environment. Lebanon. Lebanon is located in Western Asia between latitudes 33 degrees and 35 degrees north and longitudes 35 degrees and 37 degrees east. Its land straddles the northwest of the Arabian Plate. The country's surface area is 10,452 square kilometers, 4,036 square miles, of which 10,230 square kilometers, 3,950 square miles, is land. Lebanon has a coastline and border of 225 kilometers, 140 miles on the Mediterranean Sea to the west, a 375 kilometers, 233 miles border shared with Syria to the north and east, and a 79 kilometers, 49 miles long border with Israel to the south. The border with the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights is disputed by Lebanon in a small area called Shabar Farms. 120. Lebanon is divided into four distinct physiographic regions: the coastal plain, the Lebanon mountain range, the Bekaa Valley, and the Anti-Lebanon Mountains. The narrow and discontinuous coastal plain stretches from the Syrian border in the north, where it widens to form the Akkar Plain, to Ras al-Nakawra at the border with Israel in the south. The fertile coastal plain is formed of marine sediments and river-deposited alluvium alternating with sandy bays and rocky beaches. The Lebanon Mountains rise steeply parallel to the Mediterranean coast and form a ridge of limestone and sandstone that runs for most of the country's length. The mountain range varies in width between 10 km (6 miles) and 56 km (35 miles). It is carved by narrow and deep gorges. The Lebanon Mountains peak at 3,088 meters (10,131 feet) above sea level in Kiryat as-Sauda in North Lebanon, and gradually slope to the south before rising again to a height of 2,695 meters (8,842 feet) in Mount Sinai. The Bekaa Valley sits between the Lebanon Mountains in the west and the Anti-Lebanon Range in the east. It is a part of the Great Rift Valley system. The valley is 180 kilometers (112 miles) long and 10 to 26 kilometers (6 to 16 miles) wide. Its fertile soil is formed by alluvial deposits. The Anti-Lebanon Range runs parallel to the Lebanon Mountains. Its highest peak is in Mount Hermon at 2,814 meters (9,232 feet) L. The mountains of Lebanon are drained by seasonal torrents and rivers, foremost of which is the 145 km (90 miles) long Leontes that rises in the Bekaa Valley to the west of Baalbek and empties into the Mediterranean Sea north of Tyre. Lebanon has 16 rivers, all of which are non-navigable. 13 rivers originate from Mount Lebanon and run through the steep gorges and into the Mediterranean Sea. The other three arise in the Bekaa Valley. Climate of Lebanon. Lebanon has a moderate Mediterranean climate. In coastal areas, winters are generally cool and rainy whilst summers are hot and humid. In more elevated areas, temperatures usually drop below freezing during the winter, with heavy snow cover that remains until early summer on the higher mountaintops. Although most of Lebanon receives a relatively large amount of rainfall, when measured annually in comparison to its arid surroundings, certain areas in northeastern Lebanon receives only little because of the rain shadow created by the high peaks of the western mountain range. Wildlife of Lebanon. As a result of long-standing exploitation, few old cedar trees remain in pockets of forests in Lebanon, but there is an active program to conserve and regenerate the forests. The Lebanese approach has emphasized natural regeneration over planting by creating the right conditions for germination and growth. The Lebanese state has created several nature reserves that contain cedars, including the Shuf Biosphere Reserve, the Jarj Cedar Reserve, the Tanorin Reserve, the Amua and Karm Shbat Reserves in the Akkar district, and the Forest of the Cedars of God near Bishari. In 2010, the Environment Ministry set a 10-year plan to increase the national forest coverage by 20%, which is equivalent to the planting of 2 million new trees each year. The plan, which was funded by the United States Agency for International Development (USAID) and implemented by the U.S. Forest Service (USFS) through the Lebanon Reforestation Initiative (LRI) was inaugurated in 2011 by planting cedar, pine, wild almond, juniper, fir, oak and other seedlings, in 10 regions around Lebanon. As of 2016, forests covered 13.6% of Lebanon, and other wooded lands represented a further 11%. Since 2011, more than 600,000 trees, including cedars and other native species, have been planted throughout Lebanon as part of the Lebanon Reforestation Initiative (LRI). In ancient times, Lebanon was covered by large forests of cedar trees, the national emblem of the country. Millennia of deforestation have altered the hydrology in Mount Lebanon and changed the regional climate adversely. As of 2012, forests covered 13.4% of the Lebanese land area. They are under constant threat from wildfires caused by the long dry summer season. Marine environmental issues in Lebanon. Beirut and Mount Lebanon have been facing a severe garbage crisis. After the closure of the Buj Hamoud dump in 1997, the Al-Nameh dump site was opened by the government in 1998. The Al-Nameh dump site was planned to contain 2 million tons of waste for a limited period of 6 years at the most. It was designed to be a temporary solution, while the government would have devised a long-term plan. 16 years later, Al-Nameh was still open and exceeded its capacity by 13 million tons. In July 2015, the residents of the area, already protesting in the recent years, forced the closure of the dump site. The inefficiency of the government, as well as the corruption inside of the waste management company Suclean in charge of managing the garbage in Lebanon, have resulted in piles of garbage blocking streets in Mount Lebanon and Beirut. In December 2015, the Lebanese government signed an agreement with Chinook Industrial Mining, part owned by Chinook Sciences, to export over 100,000 tons of untreated waste from Beirut and the surrounding area. The waste had accumulated in temporary locations following the government closure of the county's largest landfill site 5 months earlier. The contract was jointly signed with Hoa International, which has offices in Holland and Germany. The contract is reported to cost $212 per ton. The waste, which is compacted and infectious, would have to be sorted and was estimated to be enough to fill 2,000 containers. Initial reports that the waste was to be exported to Sierra Leone have been denied by diplomats. In February 2016, the government withdrew from negotiations after it was revealed that documents relating to the export of the trash to Russia were forgeries. On 19 March 2016, the cabinet reopened the Nameh landfill for 60 days in line with a plan it passed few days earlier to end the trash crisis. The plan also stipulates the establishment of landfills in Buj Hamoud and Costa Brava, east and south of Beirut respectively. Suclean trucks began removing piled garbage from Karantina and heading to Nameh. Environment Minister Mohamed Maknouk announced during a chat with activists that more than 8,000 tons of garbage had been collected so far as part of the government's trash plan in only 24 hours. The plan's execution is still ongoing. Human Rights Watch found that Lebanon's garbage crisis, and open burning of waste in particular, was posing a health risk to residents and violating the state's obligations under international law. In September 2018, Lebanon's parliament passed a law that banned open dumping and burning of waste. Despite penalties set in case of violations, Lebanese municipalities have been openly burning the waste, putting the lives of people in danger. In October 2018, Human Rights Watch researchers witnessed the open burning of dumps in Al-Kantara and Kabrika. Lebanon Forest Fire 2019. On Sunday 13 October 2019 at night, a series of about 100 forest fires according to Lebanese civil defense, broke out and spread over large areas of Lebanon's forests. Lebanese Prime Minister Saad al-Hariri confirmed his contact with a number of countries to send assistance via helicopters and firefighting planes. Cyprus, Jordan, Turkey and Greece participated in firefighting. According to press reports on Tuesday, the 15th of October, fire has decreased in different places due to the rains, after churches and mosques called on citizens to perform raining prayers. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.